Well, what is that? This will be like take number 3, I think. All right. Whatever. It is what it is. What's up, guys? John,
Cam,
thank you for clicking on this video.
thanks for 500 subs.
500 subs, and thanks for over 700 followers on IG. Remember, those numbers are important because we're still giving one of those away. That dial-proof site right there that Cameron's about to talk about.
Yep.
Once we get 1,000 subs and 1,000 follows, we're gonna pick one of you guys that does both of those and give it away. We're gonna contact you, figure out what bow you shoot, and send you that dial-proof that fits your bow. So, moving on. Reason you clicked on this video, our TAC setup for this year. TAC is about 2 weeks away for us here in the great state of West Virginia, our home state. We're super excited about that. So glad that Total Archery Challenge decided to come here.
Yep.
And then a few weeks later, we're going to go to Seven Springs, Pennsylvania, and have so much fun there. Hopefully, see you guys like FMJJ up there.
Yep.
Ken, tell folks about your TAC setup for this year.
So, Matthews lift, 29.5, 70 pounds, 28-inch draw, 85% let off, dial-proof sight, red and black setup because I like that colorway because Mothman. I am running the 2x lens inside the dial-proof.
What is that? What is the 2x lens?
Think of it like an optic.
So it's a
magnifier. Okay, 2x. I do have the 4x as well, which will be in my bag. So when I go to that caribou shot, I can maybe see a little bit better.
Which is how many yards?
111 yards.
What's the camera? What happens if you hit the caribou at 111 yards?
You get 12 ring.
Okay.
At the caribou at 111 yards, you get entered to win a check truck.
And correct me if I'm wrong, you have to hit it from the inside out.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I don't know if they're going to let liners in, but whatever. Inside out. Q8D MX2 rest. UltraView B-Real collab on the rest because I like that. The XO legs. And then for my arrow, I am running the Easton 5.0. 400 grains. AAE hybrid. Nocturnal lighted knot because that's the way I'm going to use it for hunting season. Coming out of my bow,
wait here in a second. Ooh, 399.0. So
round up 400.
So yeah,
depending on the glue that I use and how much I used to get those veins to stick. Coming out of my bow, shoots at 314 feet a second. The reason I swapped from a RIP TKO is
there's so many arrows back here, by the way.
Only due to speed. We have shot everything. I have shot everything. I have got custom arrows made from PCA. I have Easton's. I have Victory. I have UltraView arrows, the Ultra arrows. These give you the best grouping for me personally. Yeah, I'm spending $170 for a dozen. And I understand they're not going to be super durable.
Dying.
If I miss, however, I'm okay with that. If you're not okay with that, do not get the 5.0s. Get something like the Axis.
Because they are going to break if you miss.
Yeah, the Axis, I had shot through an animal and stuck into a tree, and I was able to take the broadhead off and still use that arrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, that's going to be my TAC setup.
And not to cut Cam off, if you guys are curious about the durability of these, we have a video with Mr. Tyson Yates, the VP of Sales and Marketing from Easton, and he kind of goes in depth of why these things maybe are not as durable as what people thought they were going to be. Ferrari speed, not built for tough, so to speak.
They were built for speed and accuracy.
Yep.
And with me being a little shorter stature, having that shorter draw length of 28 inches, speed matters. Because I lose that downrange penetration. So, speed helps me out a little bit.
Have to make up for it
somewhere. And for me, it was the arrow. So, fully built out, and this is exactly the way I'm going to keep it running. I could take my Evolution broadhead, my field tip to my Evolution broadhead on that I'm going to use for deer this year, and it would still weigh 400 grains.
Right on.
What about you?
I'm going to go with the Matthews Lift X. 29.5, 70 pounds, almost identical to Cam, just a little bit, longer draw, about an inch. I'm not running the dial-proof because only one of us is a cool cat and has one. I'm running the Matthews UltraView slider because it costs us like $900 out the door once it's all said and done.
Yep.
So it'd be foolish of us not to run it because they only be wasting money. Anything else? Oh, really? We're both running. Did you talk about your bow strings?
No, I did not. No.
Okay, so we're both running the gas high octanes. I had those strings, almost the exact same strings, on my Bowtech when I was with the Bowtech Core SS, and I loved it. I definitely noticed a difference from their stock strings to the gas. So we carried it over to the Matthews. Why not? And then I'm running a stabilizer. Cameron is not.
Nope.
Doesn't really need one yet. You'll probably put one in for a hunting season.
Probably.
And I think, is that really the only difference? Yeah. So yeah, those are almost the same, except the measurables that we cannot change. And then my arrow choice, I'm running the Ultra Centrum Limited.
5 millimeter.
Yep. The 204. The 204. And the reason that I'm running these is merely for the simple fact that they're cheaper than what they would be, or what the Easons would be if I bought the Easons. If any of you watching this have found a site someplace that has a website that sells Easons with a military discount, first responder discount, because other than a veteran, I was also a former law enforcement. I would love to know about it, because other than Knock On and the arrows that those guys make that come wrapped and fletched, I've not found anyone that has a GovX or an ID Me type of discount. So that's why I chose these. These are very good arrows. I've put them through some 2x4s. I've put them through some bigger boards and have pulled them right out, and they still shoot. Did the flex test to make sure that they were good and they were solid. And for something like Total Archery Challenge, that's why I'm going to be running these, because I'm going to miss for sure, and I'd like to try to get one or two back. And I think, we're on the topic of price. I bought 2 dozen, and I think I've spent total $250-ish, $250, which is pretty much what I would have spent for just 1 dozen if I would have bought the Metre 5.0s, or 170, 180, maybe 190 some. If I'd have bought the F&J Max or the Axis, which is very durable arrows. Not quitting on Easton whatsoever. Those are 5.0s in my quiver for turkey season, and I'm going to be running 5.0s for deer season. Just not for something for me like Total Archery Challenge, where these are probably going to go bye-bye.
Yeah.
So cheaper arrow, good arrow, beneficial to the wallet. Cameron, what are some other things that we're going to carry at TAC? We talked about the bow, we talked about the arrows that we're shooting. Oh, which, by the way, before we get off topic, these arrows, mind you, this one doesn't have a field tip on it. So 330, so I'll be running 430.
Yep, about 430.
So 430 grains with a 100 grain field tip. And I think when we chrono these, I was
right about
300, so 300 FPS. So he's about 314 with the 5.0s. I'm about 300-ish with these heavy sons of bitches. Other than the bows, other than arrows, what else are you going to be taking? You're going to be obviously taking your chest rig with your binos. What's the things you would have in your kit?
So I'm going to have Allen keys.
Okay.
Allen keys set up for mine.
Things break.
Yep. Set of D-loop pliers with some D-loop material.
Okay.
You never know when that's going to go bad.
What's going to happen?
If you have Matthews, something like a stay field system, in case something, again, God forbid something happens on the mountain.
Catastrophic.
Yep. Probably some glue of some sort, just in case. And then a first aid kit. I'm going to have a tourniquet. I'm going to have my first aid kit because things happen on the mountain. And then some water, electrolytes, and probably a snack.
Yeah. And before we move on to that topic, Cameron brought up a really good point about the medical kit and, liquids, all that stuff. There's a reason these Total Archery Challenges are done in the spring and the summer. It's because it's when it's warmest. And also because most of these things are done on ski resorts. So you can't really be skiing and trying to dodge arrows while dudes are shooting at 3D targets. So spring and summer is the way to go. A lot of animals are moving. Snakes are moving. It gets hot. Heat. There's a lot of bad things that can happen. And this isn't to scare anyone. We're not trying to be... we're not paramedics or anything like that. Military, medical training, military law enforcement, medical training. All this stuff is written in blood somewhere. These are bullets being flown out of a bow, a weapon at very high speeds. Anything can happen. And when you have a bunch of amateurs running around, respectfully, that's what we are, mixed in with some pros, bad things can happen. Accidents can happen.
A release fails. You miss a target. You didn't see somebody behind. the caribou that you were trying to shoot at.
Yeah.
You fell down when you were trying to climb up a mountain.
Twisted your ankle.
You underestimated your ability to climb.
Yeah.
Which,
Anything can happen. That's what we're trying to say. Be prepared. If you're going to carry a bag on your back, which 90% of you are, you should probably have a medical kit in there that has bandages, stuff for whatever.
I don't know, aspirin for a headache because you got hung over at a party the next.
As simple as that. As simple as just being physically and mentally prepared. Because you should be approaching this with fun, to have fun, but also the same way that you would, because I know me and Cameron are, is if you're going hunting.
Yep. As Elk Shape said, separation's in the preparation. Stay ready.
Yeah, and if you stay prepared, you don't have to prepare, and that's kind of a mindset that me and Cameron live by. So we're gonna have our bags on. We're gonna have our how many arrows are you carrying?
As many as I can humanly fit.
Fair. So we'll probably have 2 dozen arrows in our bags.
I literally bought another dozen today.
Yeah, and because that's just the nature of the beast for this thing and these courses. So have your medical kit, have your water, be hydrated, show up ready to go. Whatever.
Have fun.
Have so much fun. We're so excited that they came here to our home state, and shout out to Mike's Archery over in Ironton, Ohio. We know they had a little bit to do with those guys with TAC coming over here this year. So thank you guys so much. If you see us, did we say this already?
Maybe.
If you see us, come say hi. Yeah, come say hi if you see us, if you recognize us. I'll tell you what, if you see us here in West Virginia, or if you see us at Seven Springs, first person to come to us and say, hey, you guys are Mothman Outdoors, we'll get your info, we'll send you a free t-shirt.
Yep.
That's it. See you guys at TAP.